Good day, budget-wise audiophiles. My name is Joe. I'm the founder of Fidelto, and the AMP is almost ready to be launched on the 1st of August. So before that date, I would like to share some more information about the AMP, tell you who I am, and answer your frequently asked questions. So let's go. The first thing I wanted to say is thank you for all the response I got over the last few months. It's really been helpful and it helped to form the AMP. So let me explain to you what the AMP is and what it will do for you. So the AMP, it's an amplifier that produces high quality audio for budget-wise audiophiles. It marks the start of the democratization of high quality audio. It's correctly priced, and you'll be able to listen to your audio collection like never before. Quite revolutionary. But before I tell you more about the AMP, let me explain who I am and why I'm qualified to do something like this. So, who is Joe? How did I go from the kid who was doing so to now the guy who wants to change the music industry, or at least the amplifier industry? It all started about 10 years ago. I did my first electronics project and I fell in love with it. And what you're seeing here is a project I did 4 years ago for my school. It was a self-driving car, and it was the coolest thing I've ever done because I was 15 at that time, and I had never seen anything like it before. And the teachers also thought the same thing. They found it one of the best projects they'd seen ever. The next project was about a year later, and it was an 8-bit computer based on the Motorola 6809. I didn't write the software myself, but I did design the printed circuit board and got it produced, and then plugged the chips in, and eventually I had a small terminal where I could have connected to it, and it was running BASIC, so I could have run some commands. Then my next project, I think also one of my most influential projects, was this. So let me explain. A hotel contacted me and they were like, we really want some hardware that's going to be able to control our rooms, where people can dim the lights from their phones, and they can turn on lights, turn off lights, control the temperature, things like that. And I built that hardware, and eventually I gained a lot of experience from that. And at the end, it actually worked, and I got a letter of recommendation from that company. So I wanted to show you some parts from that letter of recommendation. Joe has worked for me as a technical science developer for the past 16 months here at Basic Stay. His leadership and communication skills are near flawless, and his knowledge and expertise in the technical arena are unseen at his age. I am exceedingly impressed in Joe and his talent. As a student, he has more than helped in developing PCB, CE approved, solved some difficult issues, and he absolutely deserves to advance his career. He is highly qualified to handle more than is currently required of him. The second part. We have had some stringent deadlines to meet on some very tight budgets since the economic downturn in 2018, and Joe has delivered on every one without fail. He is highly dependable. In the third part. When Joe takes on a project, we know he will follow through and personally ensure that every small detail is properly handled. He's an extremely effective team player with superior organizational skills. So from this you can see that my skills and my project was highly appreciated by that company. So I've shown you digital stuff, but let me show you some analog stuff, like what audio is. So I've been tinkering with audio for a few years now, and it really started when I bought a record player and it came with a really bad amplifier inside. I knew that the records were good, and I knew that the quality was going to be there, but the only thing that was holding the record player back was that amplifier. And from that moment I was like, you know what, I want to build an amplifier that could fit in to different products, or could be a standalone amplifier, and really could do justice to music. So, after tinkering around on the breadboards, I eventually got my own chip amp based on the LM3886. And you can see a video here of that. But I can't show you any audio, or I can't let you listen to any audio because of copyright, of course. And this was really one of my first big projects in audio. But I wanted more. And that's the birth of Fidelto. Let me show you one more project that I did. That was last year. I built a cube satellite. And that was really, at that moment, the coolest project I had ever done before. It would show the heat losses of buildings, and that could eventually help improve the global warming. Before I tell more about the Fidelto amplifier, I would also like to teach you what goes into a high quality design. Because most people, I feel, think it's all about the high quality components and gold plated here, gold plated there. But it's not that. I'm not telling you that it doesn't help to improve the quality. But a real high quality design is based on these 4 fundamentals. Low distortion across the entire audio band. You want your audio when it comes in to when it goes out to be clean. You don't want to have any distortion to be put into your signal. Another part is low noise specifications. Again, you want your audio to be input, output, and it has to be clean. So you don't want the amplifier to include any unwanted noise into your signal. Then, protection from adverse conditions. So for instance, somebody does a short circuit or one of your speakers fails. It shouldn't be that everything around the amplifier then fails. It should be that if something is wrong, the amplifier shuts down and it protects everything from any problems. And long-term reliability. Your amp has to be able to last a very long time. The only reason you should have to upgrade the amp is because you need more power or because you want to try something else. But if the amp is steady and is working, you should not have to upgrade or buy a new one. So you can see the same thing in my design process with the Fidelto, the amp. It all started with this board. So this is the first version of the amp. It was quite simple. It just had a few transistors, a voltage amplification stage with a fixed bias, and 2 output transistors. That was it. But there was a problem with this board. It was overheating. The bias point was stable, but the problem was that when you were pulling more power, the bias point was moving and everything started to overheat. So what I had to do was I had to upgrade it. I needed to get to a more stable and also adjustable bias point so it would not overheat anymore. And that worked with the second version, but the problem was that the amp eventually didn't have enough gain in the voltage amplification stage with these new transistors and the new circuit. So there was a problem. I mean, you had 1 volt in and you had 2 volts out. That can't be happening in an amplifier. So I had to upgrade again to another version, and that was version 0.3. This one had the right transistors, it didn't overheat, and had high quality, so eventually it was also a high quality design. So let me now answer some of your frequently asked questions. Will the amp have a phono preamp? Yes, the amp will have a phono preamp of the moving magnet type. Later on, if it really is liked by the people, then I might even make a moving coil type, but that's for the future. Does the amp have an input selector? Yes, the amp does have an input selector, and that's this wheel on the front. So you'll be able to choose if you want your RCA1, RCA2, RCA3, or your phono. Then, does the amp have a controller? No, the amp does not have a controller in this version, but in the next version, the amp 2, or I don't know what I will call it, but whatever the name of that is, will have a controller included for the people who want that. So, what will I be saying in my next video? The next video will have a detailed explanation of the amp. I'll be explaining the timeline from when the amp is pre-ordered to when it will be in your living room. I'll be answering any questions that you had and put in the comments. And then we can have a little discussion about those things. So again, thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed and you got some more information about the AMP, and I hope you're just as excited as me about the launch on the 1st of August. And leave your thoughts in the comments. Tell me if you like where it's going, if you are excited about this project, and if you have any more questions about the AMP. So again, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.